What's up, guys? Hey, Jared Beckstrand here, Doctor of Physical Therapy, ToneandTitan.com, and these are 10 things that you can do at home to eliminate your patellar tendonitis or your patellar tendon pain. Joined today by my lovely assistant slash inspiration for this video, my wife Camille. Camille came to me last week and she said, hey, I've got pain in this spot. Do you have a video for that? And I said, no, not yet. Let's shoot one. So you guys are the lucky recipients of her discomfort. Of course, if this does help you out, I hope that you hit that thumbs up button down below, and thanks so much for doing that. Okay, so first of all, what is patellar tendon pain? Your quad muscle is the big muscle that's on the top of your leg, comes down, connects into the top of your kneecap, but then that tendon actually connects from the bottom of your kneecap to the top of your tibia. Here's my skeleton model. I actually built one on this guy. So you can see here, this is the patella right here. This would be the patellar tendon. Now the areas that I drew on here in black, those are the spots where this pain typically shows up. So it's either going to be right underneath your kneecap or right at the top of your tibia. So how do we treat it? We need to stretch where it's tight, we need to strengthen where it's weak, and we need to work on the biomechanics and what happens at that joint. And so let's show you how to do that. Now, first things first, the first thing that we need to do is get the pain under control. I recommend ice for that. And so you're just going to put an ice pack on there for about 15 to 20 minutes a day, and you can do that 3 times a day. Our first priority is to get the inflammation under control. The next thing that you can do, Camille's going to flip around up here on the table. The next thing that's going to be good for it is going to be what we call a cross-friction massage. Go that way because we're treating your right leg here. I'll come over here. Cross-friction massage. And so seated with your leg out straight, you're going to find the bottom of the kneecap and then the top of the tibia right where it inserts. That area right between there is going to be the patellar tendon, and we're going to do what we call, again, a cross-friction massage. The fibers on that tendon run vertically. You want to massage it horizontally, so we want to go over it just like this. What happens is as that tendon breaks down and as there's scar tissue that starts to build in that area, we want it to build back stronger. This is a great way to do that. Massage will bring blood flow into that spot, but then also help those fibers that are laying down to heal stronger and more correctly. Typically what I recommend is, 1 thumb, or you can even get 2 thumbs. I want you to push hard on there. It needs to be really aggressive. We're not sliding our thumbs on top of the skin, but we're actually pushing and we're mobilizing that tendon below it. So that's the first thing that I want you to do. About 5 minutes, once a day, even twice a day on cross-friction massage. Number 2, the third thing, I guess, that we can do after the ice, after the cross-friction massage, is we want to do some patellar mobilizations. Now, that simply means we want to stretch that tendon out by moving your patella. Now, the best way to do that is to get right on the bottom of the kneecap and then push up towards your hip. What we're trying to do is stretch that kneecap and elongate that tendon. I like up for this problem primarily. If that's a little tender, we can also go side to side. You're going to find the inside of your kneecap and push it to the outside. Hold it for about 5 seconds. Find the outside of your kneecap, push it to the inside, hold that for about 5 seconds. And then we can do that about 10, 20 times each direction. But the one, again, that I like is we're going to find the bottom of the kneecap and we're going to push it up towards your hip. We're going to hold it in a comfortable spot, and we're going to do that for 5 to 10 seconds. Repeat that, 10 to 20 times. And so that is what our patellar mobilizations look like. A quad stretch is going to be the next thing that we're going to do. There's 2 different quad stretches that I like. And so Camille's going to go ahead and lay down on her stomach. And so I have this stretch out strap. These are nice because they have handles kind of all the way through it. If you're interested, link in the description down below. A belt, a towel, a sheet also works. And so Camille's going to go ahead and bend her right leg. I'm going to put her foot right into one of those straps, and then I'm going to give her the top part right here. Now what she does is as she pulls with that strap, you'll see that we're introducing a pretty good bend into the knee. We're getting a good stretch to that quad muscle. And where do you feel that one? Is that in your knee at all, or is that just primarily up in your quad?
Mostly quad.
Okay, so a lot of people will feel this mostly quad. However, if that tendon, if it's really sharp, acute pain, if it's really bugging you initially, you might get that one down into that patellar tendon. You would hold this for 20 seconds and you would repeat that 3 times and then do this 2 to 3 times throughout your day. The more aggressive version of that, Camille's now going to stand just right in front of the table. Just looking that way, babe. And so now support yourself with your left hand and then bend your right leg and grab your foot. And now she's going to pull her heel into her butt, but in this position, she can actually push her knee back behind her. And so if we can get the knee behind the hip with the foot in that position, that's going to introduce even more of a stretch to that quad muscle. Just because it attaches to the hip, if we can extend the hip, it introduces more of a stretch into that area. Do you feel that one anymore? So a good stretch to the quad, but do we get that one down into the patellar tendon also? Okay, so that's what we're after. Doesn't need to be painful, just feel it a little bit. We're gonna hold that for 20 seconds, repeat 3 times, and do that one about 3 times a day. Those are the 2 stretches that I like. To work on quad strength, she's gonna sit right back up here, feet down this way, babe, so that we're still looking at your right side. Okay, and so we need to work on the strength of the quads and the strength of the glutes. Basically, in an effort to decrease the load at that tendon, those are the 2 muscles that I like to focus on the most. That's what tends to lead to the best outcomes. And so a quad set and a straight leg raise are the exercises that I love for this. We don't want to give up strength, but we don't want to stress the tendon. This is a great way to do that. She's going to fire her quad muscle right up here, so she's going to do that by trying to push the back of her knee down into the table. And so there's a good strong contraction here in her quad. Now hold that contraction as you lift your leg up nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, down. So at about that rate, about a 3-second raise and about a 3-second down. The emphasis here is I want this to be contracted the whole time. This is going to fatigue out, especially if it's weak. This is where you're going to feel it. It's a great way, again, to introduce a good contraction right here without a ton of stress at the knee. That shouldn't hurt your knee, but you should feel that in that quad muscle right there. Okay, and so 10 to 20 repetitions, and you're going to do that one for 3 sets. In order to train the glutes, let's go ahead and have you lay down on your back. Simplest way to do this at home is going to be with some glute bridges. And so right here on her back, I even like to introduce a little hamstring contraction with this. So the first thing you're going to do is actually dig your heels down into the table. And what that does, you should feel hamstrings turn on as you do that. Now I want her to squeeze her glutes, squeeze your butt, and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Hold 1, 2, 3, and then come right back down. So dig the heels down. You'll feel the hamstrings contract. Glutes come up. She's squeezing with her glutes. Hold 1, 2, 3, and then come right back down. 10 to 20 repetitions and repeat that 3 times. That one should be fine for the knee or for the patellar tendon as well. No problem there. Oh, okay. I feel it a little bit. I'm okay with. I don't want any of these to be painful. Okay, we're going to get rid of this table, show you a couple more exercises. These next 3 exercises are a little more intense. You might have to kind of work up to them with the exercises that I've showed you already. However, if you can tolerate these, they're super effective. Exercise number 8 is going to be a wall sit. And so Camille's going to back up into the wall, her feet come out away from the wall, and then she's going to drop down until her thighs are parallel. Now, the thing that, how long can you hold this? I guess we'll find out. The thing that I love here is that we're unloading the tendon because her knees are behind her ankles. It's when that knee gets out in front of your ankle that pressure really intensifies in that patellar tendon. However, if we can keep the tendon behind the ankle, that's really going to unload that area. She's going to feel this a ton in her quads, but she shouldn't feel much here. Okay? And so a great way that we can actually strengthen the quads functionally without loading that patellar tendon too much. She's going to hold this for about 60 seconds if she can tolerate it, and then she's going to do that 3 times. Again, the stimulus that we're after is stress here with a little bit of pull here, but no strain in this spot. Nice job. So you go ahead and come up out of it. And then you can just do that one once a day. Exercise number 9 is going to be a box squat. And again, talking about the mechanics of a squat, I see patellar tendonitis a lot in people who squat because of faulty mechanics. A lot of people will load up a bar and then they'll kind of ride their tendon down to about this spot, and then that's where the hips break and that's where the quads start to take over. What we need to do is teach you to trust your muscles, trust your quads, trust your hips, and allow that break to happen early so that we can shift the load off of the tendon into the muscles. A great way to do that would be with a box squat. So she's going to face me, And so now we're in this position right here. We're gonna break early and she's gonna lower herself down until her bum just touches and then right back up. And what you should see here is, again, that kneecap is way behind her ankle, or that knee is behind her toes and back kind of over her ankle is the alignment that I want that to be. And so how does that one feel? Is that okay? Okay, so there's no pain with that one. She's gonna do about 10 to upwards of 30 repetitions here. Repeat that up to 3 times. If that starts to get easy, I'd like to even start to hold some weights. So either some dumbbells or a barbell would be a great way to progress this one. Looks good. And so now, as soon as that starts to feel good, one more progression, let's have you right out here in front, is going to be a reverse lunge. We take it from both legs to just a single leg. So now she's just gonna hold on. I think you're still in the frame. Come my way just a little bit. And then she's gonna drop into a reverse lunge. Just don't hit. Okay, yeah, you're right there. Perfect. And so reverse lunge, but here's what I like about, or here's what I'd like to see with reverse lunges. Go incredibly slow. So slow down your rate. And so typically what happens is the faster you go in exercises, the more of that load shifts into the tendon. We want to keep it in the muscle, and in order to do that, we go slower. So really like incredibly slow back, and then incredibly slow up. So that is your emphasis right there. You'll see that she's doing both sides. I typically like to train both sides just because as we're rehabbing one, we don't want any problems to show up in the other. So that's how we do it. She's gonna do about 10 to 20 reps on each side and do that about 3 times. Okay, nice job. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Healed. It's a miracle. Cool, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you found this beneficial, hit that thumbs up button down below. If you're interested in more knee videos, I'll drop in a couple right here. If you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten yet, this circle button right here is where you can do that. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you again next time.